Coming up after the break, not everyone has come to grips with this slippery gravel event. We investigate the psychology of getting back on the road.
The best way to do it is to drive. To drive and drive fast.
And we find out why Petter Solberg is spending more time out of the car than in it. Welcome back to Access All Areas, WRC Rally to Portugal. One man who was on a very early flight out of Portugal was Ken Block. On the shakedown practice stage, the American slid wide on a corner, clipping a stone, launching his car into the air. It was an incredible crash, and with both Ken and Alex bruised but not injured, it's a huge testament to safety features in these new World Rally cars. Well, let's have a look at the crash in detail. Through the course of the 7-second accident, the cars and drivers withstand some unbelievable pressures. Approaching the corner, Ken's in fifth gear at 105 kilometers an hour. The first impact is 6G. That's 6 times the force of gravity. The car then goes through 3 full revolutions in the air. Then there's a second impact, an incredible 16G. That's almost double the maximum turn of a fighter jet. The third and final impact is another 10G. It's an incredible amount of stress both cars and drivers have to go through, which all comes back to the DNA of the Fiesta.
The Fiesta has got a Euro NCAP 5-star rating, and we've obviously brought that from the road car into the rally car and then enhanced it with the safety features of an additional roll cage.
The car was probably 20 foot high, but of course it came down and landed very heavily on the right-hand front suspension mounting. And if it hadn't been for that, yes, there was a lot of body damage, but the guys were very confident that they could have, got the car back out again. And if you look at how violent the accident was, then I think again it's testament to the strength of the design and everything of the guys who've done on the roll cage.
The roll cage is 40 metres of welded T45 steel that's tested by the FAA to withstand incredible forces. It's designed so that the cockpit area absorbs the energy of the crash and protects the driver and co-driver. Amazingly, this car will be rebuilt and used again in Italy. Of course, it's not just the car that withstands the bangs, but also the drivers. Whilst both Ken and Alex walked away, it will be the psychological challenge that both have to deal with.
The sport is, extreme, so I would rather, just focus on the driving and to go into details of how the psychologically what's happening when you're having an accident. It's never a good thing, so I would rather leave it.
I think all the drivers are used to having a crash once in a while, and you sort of just have to reset and look forward. And so maybe not a big problem, but some places when you pass your own crash place, you can feel you're passing it.
I think the main thing just to really know what actually happened. Like if you feel that it's not entirely up to you, you need to go through all the data and everything to see if there was something wrong with your car before it happened. Or then just if you know that you just went too fast, then okay, that was your mistake. Maybe you need to fix your notes for that place for next year or something like that, and then think about that side. But for sure, every time you try to learn something about it, and then just forget it.
Some drivers take longer than others to get over accidents. It was at this event 2 years ago that Jari-Matti Latvala did this. As with Block's accident, amazingly, Jari-Matti and Mika Anttila walked away unhurt. It was Latvala's mental state that crumbled during the rest of the season.
I understand really if they don't want me to carry on with the team. I really understand it.
So how do you recover mentally and get back on your feet?
The best way to do it is to drive. To drive and drive fast. Normally the drivers don't have any fears as such, but they have some dents in their confidence. They have to go through that whole thing and then see what went wrong and why it happened. Many times it is a mishearing of a note, just simply. So they have to know what happened so that they won't do the same thing again.
The pressure was too much for Jari-Matti when he returned here last year. So this season he has to face his demons. Let's ride with him as he passes the crash site for the first time. Note his new pace note reads just simply "brake lots." And listen for Mika Anttila's delivery style. He should definitely take notice of that. Jari-Matti's relief at the end of the stage is clear.
This was the stage where I crashed 2 years ago very, very heavily, and I haven't done since that the stage, so I had a bit of excitement going on that stage. I can tell you that I was far too fast 2 years ago for that place.
And let's compare those speeds. When Jari-Matti drove this corner in 2009, he was in 4th gear and travelling at 145 kilometres an hour. This year, he's in 3rd at 90, much slower. That demon is so well exercised that on the second pass through the stage, unbelievably, Jari-Matti Latvala is the fastest, while local driver Bernardo Souza now has his own crash demons to deal with.